Good morning, Flagler County. I'm Rich Carroll. You're listening to Flagler's Morning News on Thursday, April 27th.
The impact is so enormous that I haven't even wrapped my head around how we're going to account for that $50,000 loss.
That's Trish Giacconi, Executive Director of the Flagler Life Center, who tells the Women United Flagler chapter at their annual Power of the Purse event that her nonprofit is losing $50,000 in funding from United Way Volusia Flagler next year. The Family Life Center provides compassionate care and wraparound services to victims of sexual assault and domestic violence and is the only resource of its kind in Flagler County. She says they desperately need your support.
We need the financial support. We need the dollars to be able to do the work that we do because we're not going to stop doing the work. It just becomes now, how do we do it with less money? It's nearly impossible.
To donate, go to FamilyLifeCenterFlagler.org. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. Florida's 6th District Congressman questions the Assistant Secretary of Defense for International Security Affairs on military aid for Ukraine.
Michael Waltz asked Celeste Wallander about the lack of burden sharing between the United States and European allies.
We continually push NATO allies to do their part, both in the NATO context and in support
But Madam
of
Secretary,
Ukraine.
we've been pushing for decades across multiple administrations, and sending strongly worded memos over tea and crumpets in Europe isn't getting the job done. So here's what I need you to take away. This continued support is at risk domestically, politically here, if we don't see the administration getting results, not asking forcefully. And you need to understand that there is a domestic issue here with continued support to Ukraine, given everything that we've done.
Waltz then asked about a potential Russian attack on a NATO member country.
Fair to say that the 31 most modern militaries in the world in a strengthened NATO alliance that many people in this room have celebrated could handle the remnants of the Russian military should it decide to take action in a NATO country or be aggressive in a NATO country. Fair to say? I mean, they can't take all of Ukraine. I don't see how they could take a modern European.
We should not make the mistake of underestimating Russia's military capabilities because the stakes of getting it wrong are too high.
Waltz said that the NATO countries could stand their own ground against Russia without additional U.S. military support. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
It was yet another busy weekend for the Flagler County Sheriff's Office.
Flagler County Sheriff's Office deputies made 17 arrests over the weekend. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley says a man with a weapon at a Palm Coast pawn shop tried to get away with a large amount of cash. And another case involved a child.
He didn't get very far. The gun and was recovered, and the suspect was arrested and is residing in the Green Roof Inn. In another case, deputies responded to a welfare check and found absolutely disgusting conditions for 2 small children to live in, including a toddler.
Sheriff Staley says criminals think they can get away with crime on the weekend, but he says our deputies never rest. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
Dune walkover repairs are starting soon in Flagler Beach. Construction crews will be driving pilings to start repair work on 3 dune walkovers between now and Sunday. The work will affect the dune walkovers at South 21st and 28th Streets and the North 2nd Street handicap ramp. The work isn't expected to impact traffic patterns on A1A, but residents in that area may hear loud noises. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Amy Cherry.
Being a foster child can be challenging at times.
That's what Tim and Katie Vinegar say they and their crew are hoping to fix. Katie said on a recent episode of Lifeline on WNZF that things could be much better for foster children.
Most of the kids come from a situation that is just filled with neglect. The parents are not in a good situation, therefore the child doesn't get the attention and the love and the guidance and all those things that children crave.
She said that while they have all sorts of challenges, the Pirates and Mermaids treasure each child. You can hear Lifeline on WNZF at 8 o'clock on Saturday mornings, and it's on the Flagler radio app. Tomorrow, you can help the Pirates increase their treasure. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.